What's going on, CSBA fans? We got a good one in store. Oregon and Ohio State. Number 3, Oregon. Number 18, Ohio State. Joining me in the booth, David Ware. David, how's it going, man?
It's going good. We're getting ready for a good ball game right here.
Yeah, this should be a good one. As the viewers just saw that UCLA, they continue their winning streak, and it's now 90. They won 91-64. So, what are you expecting to see here from Ohio State and Oregon?
I'm expecting it to be a really physical game, and I expect it to remain close all the way through for sure.
Is Oregon looking to keep their unbeaten record alive, trying to go 2-0? Meanwhile, for Ohio State, they're trying to do the same, coming in at number 18, and kind of surprising that they're down that far. How did you think about the rankings coming out last week and where these two teams are placed?
You know, it's still early, so it's hard to say that what teams should and should not be there necessarily. There's a few that are awfully close, but I think you could put both of them a little bit higher, and you couldn't really complain about it.
So what are the key players to watch for these two teams?
I'm looking at Greg Cooksey for Oregon. I think he's going to have a really good game. And, you know, I got to say I'm probably on Ohio State. Manny Brewer, someone I know he's a green chip, but I'm expecting him to be a difference maker in a game like this.
All right, and Ohio State will start with the basketball. It's Moore trying to get it going first, but he comes up with the miss, and now Oregon, they'll get their first possession here of the game, and setting it up from their half-court set. Babbage over to Lewis at the top of the key, getting a pick, and he's going to drill that one, and that's something that Oregon, you want to see early and often, is going to be Lewis getting going.
Absolutely. Great movement with the ball there and to create that shot. And maybe the uniforms are distracting Ohio State a little bit because those are some crazy uniforms.
Yeah, Oregon loves those crazy uniforms as Scooby Lewis will get the ball after the turnover and look down low, and that is way too easy as Ward getting in there as Johnny Ward will finish it off.
Oregon pushing the ball early, making some plays, and getting a lot of success so far. Let's see if they can continue it.
Trying to hit that, but coming up short is McAdoo. And so on the transition, Cooksey will find Davis underneath, and he knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, right now Oregon is just having their way. They're getting down. They're getting some easy shots. They're getting in the post with some easy shots. Ohio State has got to keep them out of the post.
Pinesaw over on the wing as he's being guarded on the play by Gilsick. And so Pinesaw still with the basketball, but now double team coming, having to find it underneath, and a nice play as Moore will finish the slam.
And that's what Ohio State needed. They need to get on the board. They need to get some momentum going. Let's see if they can keep it going. Maybe get a stop, keep Oregon out of the post, make them shoot a shot from outside and force them to make it.
And a nice move off the pick, but it comes up empty as that was Dan Gilsick trying to get that one to go home, but he just can't. And so Moore will get the basketball now, and he's actually playing out wide, the small forward with the basketball, and he will hand it off to McDonald, who's now at the top of the key, waiting for somebody to get open, having to give it back to Moore as he's trying to go one-on-one. Nice move, and can he finish? No, and it just seemed like the offense was kind of stagnant, David.
Yeah, there was no movement without the ball. Everyone was just kind of standing around. They've got to move around. They've got to create space and create a shot. Standing around is not going to get it for them.
McAdoo with the rebound after it was tipped by a teammate. And now Ohio State working from their half-court set.
They're moving around a little bit more now. It's like they heard us down on the court.
Moore trying to go one-on-one. Fadeaway jumper, no good. And again, Babo with the rebound. Cobb, excuse me, with the rebound. Name's a little bit hard to see from up here, but there's Gilsek, and he finishes it with the alley-oop slam.
That was a beautiful pass and a beautiful finish.
Cobb looking really good here to start, dishing the basketball, coming up with some big turnovers, and moving the ball in transition really well, finding it underneath to McDonald. He's going up against Davis. Can he finish? Can he? No, he can't, as Davis comes up with the rebound. I thought maybe he had the opportunity to maybe take a shot, but Scoopy Lewis on the other end, a little okey doke, and he gets home.
Yeah, again, Oregon getting some easy shots. They're not really being contested. Points in the paint right now, huge advantage for Oregon. Ohio State's got to figure out a way to stop that.
Yeah, it's been a whale of a start for the Oregon Ducks as they're up 10-2 here early, and Ohio State having to burn a timeout here early with 4:24 left to go. We're going to stay right here, and so what would you want to see from the Ohio State offenses? I know we were talking about maybe being a little stagnant on the offensive end, but it seems like even the defense, the transition game really hasn't been there.
Yeah, they really just. I mean, I don't feel like they got their foot on the pedal at this point. I feel that they're kind of just moseying around. They need to get some energy, and they need to push the ball both sides of the court. And right now, they're just not doing that.
Now you will see some backups coming into the game as well, as Foshi not able to get that. He was stuffed. And again on transition, and an and one as Brewer coming up with the foul as Diego Santos will finish it. And that's somebody where you got somebody like Diego Santos coming in off the bench. That is that's probably a mismatch for some teams.
Yeah, and that was a crazy finish. That's not a finish that everybody's going to make. So credit to Santos. Let's see if he can convert on the and one, and that would put Oregon up by 11 points.
We also got another person in the booth, Zach Davis. Zach, what are you seeing so far here from the coaching staffs for both teams? Thank you, Zach. And we'll go to him from time to time for some good analysis. And there lays into Ohio State as they got the offensive rebound or the defensive rebound, but stepped out of bounds. So Oregon retaining the possession and getting it down is James trying to back his man down. Can't get that to go. Has been to kick it out to Santos, and James with the trying to get the pick and roll. Doesn't fall, but James with the offensive board and a putback.
That's a huge play for them. They made a lot of passes, waited till they got the shot they wanted, and then followed with a great rebound and the second chance points.
Brewer over to Rubin. Now Rubin at the top of the key, trying to go one-on-one with Cobb. Having to dish that off to Foshi. We all know Foshi can light it up, takes a shot, and he gets that one to fall. They're going to say that was a three-pointer, so Ohio State finally getting on the board here after the big run by the Ducks.
Yeah, and they needed that. It's a three-point shot. You know, that just gives Ohio State some confidence. Now let's see if they can play a little bit more tighter defense here and get a stop against Oregon.
Santos was at the elbow, having to dish it back out to Cobb. But Cobb to James, back to Santos. He's going to have to fire one deep. No good. And a defensive rebound for the Buckeyes as they are in transition and getting to the bucket. And able to finish that one home is Manny Brewer.
That was great overall. Defense, getting the rebound, and then pushing the ball to get the quick points. That's exactly what Ohio State needs right there.
So now 16-7 as the Ducks again getting to the basket. So answering every little bit of momentum that the Buckeyes try to get. Santos up with the steal, but ball back to the Buckeyes. Brewer will dish it to Foshi. Foshi waiting for a man to come open. He is open if he wants to give it to him, but a little late as Brewer now dishing it down low to Chambers. Chambers back out to Foshi. Foshi trying to work one-on-one with his man, taking a shot, no good, and James with the rebound. Out to Santos, looking down low. Oh, and he is stuffed, but he gets the ball back over over to James, down to the post, and that's a kiss off the glass and good.
That was a nice block and great way to follow through and finish the play right there for Oregon.
And now Ohio State having to burn another timeout. So with 1:48 left to go, 18-7 is the score. Ducks on top of the Buckeyes, and we'll be back right after a quick timeout. And we're back. Let's go to Zach Davis once again. Zach.
Yes, I am back. Thank you for having me, Jeff. I realized my microphone was unmuted.
What are you seeing from both teams here early?
Yeah, can you hear me, Jeff? I want to make sure we're all clear. David, Jeff, can you hear me?
All right, Zach is not there right now. Is 1:45 left to go. Brewer will take his man one-on-one, and he'll hit a fadeaway jumper.
That's a great way to come out of the timeout, get some points, try to get the momentum going in a different direction. We know this game can go quickly in either way, so a great start for Ohio coming out of that timeout.
Santos from a dish from Cobb gets the pick and able to get some room, but not able to fall as Brewer up with the rebound and now dishes it to Foshi, starting to get the transition game going. But Oregon getting back as Foshi now with the basketball at the elbow of the three-point. Now gives it to Chambers, going at his man, and he will not convert, but he will get to the line as Singler was called for the foul.
Yeah, and Oregon's doing a great job keeping Ohio State in front of them, not letting Ohio State get to the basket. Great defense so far by Oregon.
Now Chambers to the charity stripe, looking to hit these two free throws. Chambers, the center.
It's going to be important that they hit all the free throws they can. With the gap that they're in right now, they need to get all these points they can for sure.
Misses the first one, and it seems like every time Scott and me like to point out the free throws and, coming up with a couple misses could be really big in terms of momentum and overall the score of the game at the end.
Yeah, momentum changes fast in this league. 1 minute, a team could be on a nice run, but it can turn really fast. So those are exactly the plays that you got to have. You got to have those free throws to really get that momentum in your way and get the other team in foul trouble.
So timeout here by Oregon, their first timeout of the game with 1:10 left to go, and we'll be back right after this. All right, we're back here at Ohio State, the the Value City Arena, with the number 3 Ducks on top of the number 18 Buckeyes here early by 18-10. 3-ball, and that's no good from Cooksey as he let that one go.
Yeah, Chambers had a fight for that rebound, but he got it. Let's see if Ohio State can't get back on the board here.
Trying to get inside, but that one is going to be rejected. And up with the basketball now is Cobb, working in transition. Gives it to Santos. Santos to Cooksey. No good. And the Buckeyes up with the rebound, and they're pushing it with Rubin now. Trying to go on one-on-one with his man. Fadeaway jumper, no good. And James up with the rebound.
I'd like to have seen Brewer push that a little bit more. He popped up like he was going to shoot, but I think he had opportunity to push that a little bit more and try to maybe draw a foul there.
Meanwhile, Steve Cobb able to finish that transition basket home once again for the Ducks. And so under 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter. And out wide with the basketball is Manny Brewer, who's trying to go one-on-one, but he'll pass it down to the other Brewer on the team as he will hit that one as Jacob Brewer gets that one to fall.
That was a good fadeaway. And again, just putting points up, going at, ending the first quarter. A little bit of momentum to get ready for the second quarter. Down by 8. Lots of time left for Ohio State, but they're going to have to figure out a way to stop Oregon.
You're watching the CSBA on twitch.tv. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Back to Value City Arena. I'm Jeff Malinish, and joining me in the booth is David Ware. David, we saw Oregon go on some runs, and ultimately they're up 8 because of good defense and good transition game.
Yeah, and absolutely, and they're making a lot of good shots, and they're making a lot of easy shots. Ohio State's got a little bit better at it, but let's see what happens as we start the second quarter. Let's see if Ohio State can force Oregon to take some shots from outside the post.
Lewis and Glisick back on the court for the Ducks, trying to get the screen, but doesn't use it. Dan Glisick will take the basket, and he'll do it himself as he gets that one to fall in a 10-point lead for the Ducks here early in the second quarter.
That's going to be important. Ohio State needs to set the tempo right here. They need to get a score, and that is exactly what they did not need to do is they turn the ball over, and we are about to have a highlight play.
Coast to coast for Dan Glisick as he finishes that one home. And that, again, the turnovers, if you're Ohio State and you're down, you really can't force anything, because if you start getting into a turnover barrage, then you're watching the Ducks go back the other way.
Yeah, we saw in the last game, we saw Providence had 8 turnovers, and that hurt them. And Ohio State has got to avoid the turnovers right now.
Glisick again in transition. He gets the foul from Pinesaw, so he'll go to the free throw line and earn his 2. But again, a nice block on the defensive end from Scooby Lewis.
So was that a good Jeff Mel foul or no?
We're gonna
inquiring minds want to know.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I would say that's a good Jeff Mel foul.
All right,
Jeff Mel approved. Just. I think pretty soon Zach's going to have that as a little icon that he's going to put every time that there's a hard foul.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, a nice move, and that was a good foul. You have Glisick go into the hole, and maybe the ref was a little on his whistle there, but you know what? Still having to earn it from the free throw line.
And converts both of them, so that's huge for Oregon. They're now up 14. Ohio State's got to answer back here, Jeff. They cannot let this lead get any further.
Pinesaw trying to do it. Go one-on-one with Glisick as he's trying to get to the hole. He gives it. And one play as Ward will be called for the foul as McAdoo will go to the free throw line and earn the 3-point play.
That was a great finish by McAdoo. Great concentration. Let's see if he can't finish right here and get this 3-point play just to capitalize right here.
Weird replay that we're seeing, but yeah, I really like what Les McAdoo is doing in this game. He's kind of quiet, but you know what? He is a hard-hat and lunch pail type of guy, and as soon as he got the ball down low, he went right at his man and able to get the 3-point opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you get Oregon in foul trouble, they're going to have to change their play a little bit. So if Ohio State can keep that up, Oregon will not be able to be as aggressive, and that will help them get back in the game soon.
As the center hits a free throw, what a nice dunk on the backdoor feed by Johnny Ward, able to stuff that one home.
That was a nice play. That's kind of disrespectful. They're on the road, and they just shoved it down. That could be assist of the game right there.
That'd be a nice assist of the game. The Buckeyes were trying to do the same thing. Can they do it again? Yes, they will. Glisick finds Davis, and he's able to finish that one home.
Ohio State needs to call a timeout here. They really do. They need to stop this momentum. Oregon's starting to run away with it. They're getting some flashy plays. They're taking the crowd out of the game, and they need to do all they can to get the crowd back.
Ball knocked loose by the one that just stuffed it home, Johnny Ward, but it goes out of bounds, so Ohio State will retain possession. But yeah, I agree with you that the Buckeyes need to take a timeout here, but I think the 2 that they took in the first quarter is kind of hampering their situation here in terms of timeouts, and that's probably one of the reasons why we're not seeing one right now. Pinesaw with the pick from the top of the key. Elbow, stop, pop, no good, as up with the rebound, and pushing it is Cobb.
You would have liked to have seen him make it, but look at Pinesaw right there with the steal, getting to get back. Let's see if he can't make a play and get those points on the board again.
And now over to Moore. Moore will get a little bit of a screen from McDonald, but McDonald comes up with the ball as he's waiting for someone to get open. They're looking for Pine Saw, but he's stopped in the middle of the key. Over to Moore. Moore stops and pops over to Lewis. No good. And McDonald fighting for the rebound, but Johnny Ward comes up with it, and he's pushing it. Looking really nice and for the Ducks. A really nice find. As Davis up with the offensive board. Can't get one that to fall as McAdoo will be charged for the foul.
You know, back on the other side of the court, I thought McDonald was fixing to slam that one back home.
But it was all for naught. And then that was a kind of an all-right possession for the Buckeyes, but still a lot of just – it seems like everybody's waiting for somebody else to do something. And when you're in an offense like that, you can't – you got to – someone has to take the reins here and be the one that's going to put the team on their back and get the Buckeyes back into this.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got to try to get someone more involved. They've got to get – someone's got to step up and be the leader right now for sure.
Davis trying to make his second free throw. 5:12 left to go in the second quarter. 31-15. Free throw on the way is good as Davis knocks it home. So now 32-15. McAdoo bringing the ball up now for the Buckeyes. So the center getting some much-needed point guard play as Pine Saw trying to go one-on-one as he's going to be stopped, and then Johnny Ward coming in to reach in.
And that's a second team foul for Oregon already. If Ohio State can push a little bit more, that might get them to the free throw line and help give them a little bit more space on the court. What a play right there. That is exactly what they needed to do. Someone needed to step up and make a highlight play.
Sean Moore finishing that one home, 32-17. Pine Saw now guarding his man, Gleasack, out on the side. Going at him is Gleasack. He steps back. Now trying to still go at Pine Saw, but now gives it to Lewis. Lewis charging the lane. No good. Sean Moore up with the rebound for the Buckeyes.
You got to love that defense by Pine Saw. Pine Saw keeping his guy in front of him and forcing him to make a shot, and they got the miss. And let's see if they can convert and get some points out of this possession.
Back to Pine Saw for a wide open two. He converts that one from the corner, and it's 32-19.
So they stopped Oregon from scoring. They put some points on the board. That's a successful series right there for Ohio State. They got to get a few more of those.
Sean Moore guarding Scooby Lewis. Lewis going right at him. Fadeaway jumper, no good. McAdoo up with the rebound. Long pass out to Thomas. Stops, pops from three. That's good.
Ohio State making a comeback. They are back to 10 points again. They need to try to get another stop here. Oregon, a good timeout to try to stop the momentum. Let's see what Ohio State does coming out of this timeout.
3:49 left to go in the second quarter as the Buckeyes going on a little bit of a run. What have you seen from this little bit of a run that we've seen from the Buckeyes that you really like and you want to see them keep going with?
You know, Pine Saw is taking control on defense and really helping out. And offense, they're getting aggressive and they're moving a lot better. We've seen a lot of passes and we've seen some good shots. So let's see if they can continue to make some plays like that and get back in this game.
Yeah, I really like that Sean Moore. He's looking really nice, and he's having to go up against a tough matchup with Scooby Lewis, but he seems to be holding his own.
Yeah, Scooby Lewis is a handful, and he is definitely hard to guard, and he's a great defender on top of it. So, you know, going against a Scooby Lewis, that is a matchup that you have to work really hard on.
So we'll get back to some live action, Value City Arena on the campus of Ohio State University. Getting the ball, Cobb will dish it in to James. Getting it back, lob from to James is good. And a nice play there from the Ducks coming out of the break.
Ohio State's got to come out now and continue the momentum they had going into the timeout. Let's see what they can do to make some creative play right there.
And a nice play by Chambers as he finishes the miss and puts it back. So back to a 10-point lead.
A great second chance points right there. That's exactly what Ohio State has not done much of tonight. If they can continue to do that on some of the misses, they'll climb back in.
Manny Brewer bringing the basketball up now for the Buckeyes as a 3-point play from a three-point shot from the Ducks on the last play. Dishing it out. Rubin over to Foshi. Foshi now being guarded at the top of the key. Dishes it to Brewer. Brewer had nobody on him for a little bit, but not backing up. He's going to take a long three. Backboard, no good. And Diego Santos up with the rebound.
You know, they didn't really push the ball too much. They kind of just passed it around. No one wanted to take a shot there. Let's see if they can't get back to where they were a few plays before. Look at that dunk, though. That was a nice dunk right there for Oregon.
And again, extending their lead, 39-24. Now the Ducks with the big lead here is Chambers being guarded by James. He'll dish it to Foshi. Foshi stops, pops, and that one's good.
Good way to answer back, get on the board quick. Let's see on defense here. They've got to get a stop, though.
Now James going at Chambers. That one's no good. Chambers with the rebound, dishing it to Foshi. Foshi slowing it down, being guarded on the play by Cooksey. Dishing it underneath, and that's going to be a foul on Singler. And going to the free throw line is Jacob Brewer.
It'd have been nice to see him finish that, but that was a really difficult shot. A good foul, just making it hard for him to finish. A Dill foul, to be exact.
39-26. Buckeyes trying to get back within 10 as they were there just a couple plays ago before Oregon hit the 3 and then hit a 2 right after the Buckeyes missed. So here the free throw is good, making it an 11-point game now. 12 points, excuse me. Math a little off here, David.
It's okay. It's kind of it's a late Friday night, right?
Exactly. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Let's see if Brewer can convert on the second free throw. And he does.
Yeah, he converts both of them. So Jacob Brewer gets 2 points on the board for the Buckeyes. Now Diego Santos bringing the ball up. Dishes it to Cooksey over on the wing. Being guarded by Foshi. James trying to set the screen. He gets the pick, but having to kick it to Cobb. Cobb to Santos as it looks like the Ducks going with 3 ball handlers on the perimeter. Santos stops, pops, no good. And up with the rebound, getting it going in transition. Up to Rubin as Rubin will back out of it. Being guarded by Cobb. Getting a little bit of a pick. Now the mismatch. Still at the top of the key, being guarded on the play by Siegler. Underneath, and that one is good as Foshi finishes it over Cooksey.
Great job by Ohio State. If you're Ohio State right now, you have to take each possession. As we're getting ready to go into half, and they're down by 9 right now, they just need to take each possession and try to get a victory in it, and they'll be fine getting right back in the game.
Siegler dishes it back out to Diego Santos, who gets the pick. Got some space. He drains that from 3.
Well, Oregon trying to make sure that Ohio State don't come back. The gap was only 9, and that 3-pointer pushes it back into double digits. Big time shot for Oregon.
Yeah, something we haven't seen is the Buckeyes taking some threes, and that's going to be something that they're going to need in the second half to come back. Foshi dishing it down low. Brewer going at his man. Can't get that one to fall as he had Diego Santos, the mismatch, on him, but couldn't convert the mismatch. Cobb with the basketball gives it to James. James to Cooksey at the top of the key. Being guarded by Foshi with 5 seconds, and Manny Brewer is going to be called with a foul. That's his second and third team foul. And with 6.4 left to go, the Ducks will shoot a free throw.
I'd like to see Greg Cooksey get a little bit more involved in the offense. He hasn't been too involved so far.
Yeah, not to the level that we really see Cooksey, because Greg can really take over a game with some threes here and there. And he's had a couple threes that he's made, but it just hasn't been, that takeover type of mentality that we see from him from time to time.
Yeah, and that identity right now has been missing on and off. So they need someone to fill that role. Let's see if in the second half they don't make those adjustments. A huge shot going into halftime, but he missed. Let's see if Ohio State can't make some adjustments and come out as they are down 13 to Oregon going into half at home.
A good first half of play for the Oregon Ducks and their fans as they lead the Buckeyes So number 3 looking really good against number 18. And so we've come to the halftime break. David, it's been pretty much all Oregon until we got into the second quarter. And then the Buckeyes went on a little bit of a roll, got it to within 10. And then towards the end of the second quarter, we saw them get within 9.
Yeah, they did. They did a great job, and they just need to keep pushing the ball at this point. And then they've got a chance. They're still in it by all means.
So we'll be back right after this, taking a little bit of a breather, and then we'll be back with the second half coverage.
Alrighty, Jeff and David, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, man.
I am
Pleasure.
back. I felt like I was in a jail cell hearing you guys talk about such a good game here. Appreciate you guys having me as the analyst here. We got a really good game tonight.
Yeah, it has. And just get some of your thoughts on what you want to see from both teams here in the second half of play as Davis goes in.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Oregon, I mean, you and I have talked about this quite a lot, Jeff. They just got to keep playing the brand of basketball. It's not sexy. It's not anything you're going to really, blow your mind over. And then for Ohio State, they just got to stop the inside drives because Oregon takes a lot of driving lanes with Scooby.
That one to Scooby Lewis is good as he gets the assist on the play from Joseph Babbage.
Yeah, Scooby showing he can shoot from all over the court right there.
So 47-30 is the score. Going up with the shot is Sean Moore, but he is going to be rejected on the play by Devin Davis.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at these stats real quick. I think you mentioned it earlier, Jeff. Oregon is ranked number 3 and Ohio State ranked 18. A big difference. Same record, though. That's pretty interesting. Ohio State's got to be slighted by that.
Oh, yeah. Glisek up with the rebound, gives it to Lewis as he's trying to push it in transition, but has to back it out, being guarded on the play by Sean Moore. As Devin Davis flew in for a little bit of a screen, now out to Ward. Ward with the switch, and now to Glisek over on the wing. Stops, pops, and that one is no good from 3 as McDonald up with the rebound, and now in transition to Thomas. He stops. 2-pointer, no good, and Devin Davis up with the rebound.
Loved how energetic Oregon's offense was. They were moving all over the court a minute ago. They didn't make their shot. But I'm telling you what, they are making it very hard for Ohio State as they are moving all over the place right now.
Devin Davis looking to take his man one-on-one. Gets inside, no good. McDonald up with another defensive rebound. Dishes it out to Scott Pinesaw. Trying to go one-on-one. And he has to dish it out to Sean Moore. Moore being guarded by Scooby Lewis. Now over to Pinesaw yet again, back to Moore. McDonald flashed. He gets the ball by the free throw line, and he will be fouled on the play and bailed out by Devin Davis.
Ohio State got lucky there because they weren't really doing anything. They were kind of holding on to the ball. Time was running out, so that definitely helped them out. Let's see if they can't get a point here.
Moore in the corner. Lewis on him. Pinesaw open. He decides not to take the 3.
Wide open.
Stops, pops from top of the key. That one's no good. Devin Davis with the rebound.
That's exactly what we were talking about earlier, Jeff. Nobody trying to take control for Ohio State. Zach Pinesaw needed to have taken that shot when he had it.
Missed shot was corralled on the play by Ward, who goes in and gets fouled and will earn 2 from the free throw stripe.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny Ward, the Louisville transfer, Jeff, he's also one of our commentators. He's had 2 thunderous dunks. He's just an all-out player, and he's a perfect mesh for this Oregon team. Looking
really good, but Ohio State really has got to be now putting their foot on the gas pedal, so to speak, here, right, for the rest of this game. I mean, they're down here by 18, and if they go down 20, we've seen that it takes a lot for a team to come back from down 20 with just a quarter and a half left to go.
Yeah, there is no time to waste. They have got to make the most out of each possession and try to walk away with some kind of points each and every drive.
So 1 of 2 on the free throw line. Moore down low on Gleasack, but no good as Gleasack with the rebound, pushing in transition, pushes it to Babbage on the sideline, gets it down low, and Ward finishes on Sean Moore.
Man, I mean, Oregon's playing great, David. Wow.
Yeah, and they're having their way get into the paint and getting some really easy shots still, and that is a recipe for disaster for Ohio State if they cannot stop that.
Meanwhile, coming up, we're going to stay right here for this timeout, but coming up next, as we get the Friday night slate closed out, it is going to be Wisconsin taking on Villanova. What do you guys like to see from that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, David, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, I know you're newer to the CSBA. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited for to see Wisconsin, to see as they've built that team together. I've got to know the coach a little bit there, and so I'm very excited to see how he brings it all together.
I think that's, I know me and Zach and I were on the call last week, I believe, for Villanova and Wisconsin game, and when we heard that they were going to be playing this upcoming week, it was definitely appointment television, and I really think that people should tune into that one because I think Villanova, even though they lost last week, that they got their meters turned in the right direction. So I definitely think that the Holiday has his guys gearing up for this one, and that's a big game for him right out of the gate against Wisconsin.
Absolutely. I know Villanova will be ready. They're a quiet team in chat, but I mean, they're going to ball out. They definitely have to shut down Jaden Passion, though, Jeff.
So back to this one. Pine-Saw fadeaway, no good. Up with the rebound is Ward, and again, the Ducks looking to push in transition as Sean Moore, it's going to get it back to Devin Davis. Wow. Sean Moore tried to block the alley-oop, but came up short, but Devin Davis finishes it home. So 52-30 is the score now. So a 22-point lead for the Ducks. Pine-Saw with the basketball, dishes it to Thomas. Thomas going at Babbage, going in, and that one dishes it back to Les McAdoo, who finishes, and Babbage will be called for the for the foul.
There's McAdoo again. We talked about him just making the plays that the team needs, and right now getting to the line and trying to help change momentum, that is a huge play.
And now Lewis going to the bench with 4:28 left to go. Do you think this is the opportunity that Ohio State needs to get back into this game?
Absolutely. With Lewis on the bench, they've got to take full advantage of this. He won't be pestering anyone on defense. They got to get some points, and he's not going to be over there shooting all over him. So let's see what they can do in this next few minutes with Lewis on the bench.
Babbage to Ward. Ward now sizing up his man, deciding what he's going to do. He's being guarded by McAdoo, trying to go at him. He does, and he finishes.
Wow, that is a huge finish for Ward. He kind of just toyed with him for a little bit and then said, hey, let me show you something. And, man, that was a nice dunk.
McAdoo over to Manny Brewer. Manny Brewer now being guarded on the play by Ward. Ward getting his hands in there, trying to come up with a steal. Brewer then comes up with the ball, though, going in at Devin Davis, and that is almost going to be a block 99% of the time, and it was right there. Gleasack pushing it in transition. Now he's trying to size up his man, Thomas, and he gets it down to Ward. Ward in and good.
Yeah,
Ward does not care.
Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't care if Scooby Lewis is on the bench. He said, I'm going to do some scoring now.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see that a lot at Louisville last year, Jeff. I mean, he's coming to Oregon. I guess just competing with these top-notch players, I mean, it brings out the best in your game as well.
Yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from Johnny Ward. Looking really nice here. As Brewer with the basketball, having to dish it out to Foshi. Foshi for three, no good. And Johnny Ward up with the rebound. Pushes in transition. He's going coast to coast. Someone get this man a passport.
Yeah, that was crazy. Brewer, trying to hold on to the ball too much on offense. and waiting too late to pass. Ward right now is dangerous, and I've got a feeling that this momentum that Oregon's on, if Ohio State cannot stop it pretty fast,
Yeah,
this lead is only going to get bigger.
absolutely.
2:47 left to go in the third quarter. We'll be back right after this short break.
And we are back real quick, Jeff. Do you have the chat open, or we give some love to our CSBA brethren in here?
Yeah, I will. Just give me a second real quick. Again, catching me on the
I'm
spot.
always
But you know
catching
what?
you on the spot, Jeff. You know that's what
I
I
know
do.
you. I know. I mean, someone has to, but it has to load for me again. So I do see Misfit King. But David, if you want to go ahead and take it.
Yeah. So we got Misfit King, we got Spiderweber 44, Les Beyond, D'Amico, 14 Davis. Let's see who else we got in the chat tonight. We got Rusta Busta in here. We got Assured Fame is in there. That's a shocker.
I know that.
Yeah, what a shocker that is. I don't know who Assured Fame is.
No idea.
She sounds hideous.
I hear he's an okay coach.
It's all right. Ain't no big
Yeah,
deal. As we
ain't
get
no big
back
deal.
into this game, let's leave that poor man alone, gentlemen.
Oshie connects from deep downtown as
Wow.
gets the Buckeyes a little bit closer, now down 22 yet again.
Yeah, and they've got to stop Oregon right here. They can't keep allowing Ward to go to the hole and just do whatever he wants. And they've got to get some stops for sure.
Cobb not able to hit that three. Now Foshi going at Cobb, trying the alley-oop, but that one was deflected. Rubin up with it, and he gets blocked yet again as Singler gets the deflection and it gets a block on the same play.
Jeff, if you don't mind me saying, David, this game has reminded me a lot of the last when UCLA just showed their force, showed how dominant they are in defense, and just kind of led from start to finish here.
Oh, absolutely, and getting to the paint, the paint points are huge, just like in the last game as well.
Absolutely.
Jacob Brewer back to Manny. Manny is blocked by James. Comes up with the rebound and then gives it to Diego Santos, who pushing it in transition very quickly, sizing up his man. He's got the double. Somebody was open, but it's knocked out of bounds. And Ohio State, we got the basketball.
You know, it'd been nice if Ohio State on that rebound, if they would not have passed it back out. I think he had a shot underneath the basket. Probably could have drawn a foul, but he passed it out. And that's kind of just the way Ohio State's been tonight. They haven't taken that aggression they needed.
Leanna Foshi with the basketball getting into the hoop. He does into the lane and dunks that one home.
That would be considered aggression. Now, if they can keep that up, they can come back with that. That's what they need right there.
Absolutely.
I like that. Aggression. And there you get to see aggression taken out by Grayson James.
Yeah, absolutely. Oregon firing right back. They don't want to let Ohio State back in this game. You do not want to let the crowd get into it again. So Oregon's going to do all they can to try to keep Ohio State down.
60-38. Number 3 on top of number 18. Manny Brewer with the basketball, getting the pick, shooting it over James. No good. Chambers right there to tip it home.
Good putback.
Yeah, great second chance points for Ohio State. Even if, that's just confidence for them, some momentum. They need to keep pushing the ball just like that.
Diego Santos over to Cobb. Cobb to Singler over on the wing. Going against Rubin as James trying to get open, but he has Chambers on him, and Chambers is in the zone right now. James, step back, no good, and Chambers up with a rebound, looking to get the Buckeyes going in transition.
Yeah, Chambers has been great on the glass tonight. Lots of rebounds for him. Really trying to do his best to will Ohio State back into this.
3, 2, 1 on the game clock, and no good. I thought he was going to hit that, but at the end of the third quarter, the Ducks on top by 20, 60-40. And we'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. Everybody put your fours up in chat, as this is going to be a good fourth quarter. All right, back to Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio. As it's been all Oregon here in this one, 60-40. They've led from start to finish. Buckeyes tried to. They at one point it was a 9-point game in that second quarter before Oregon busted it back out to 15-point lead. They never looked back.
Wow.
Yeah, and
As another block by Singler. Singler's looking really good down in that post. When James is not there, Singler has been able to helping really well. As the three-pointer no good, James up with the rebound, gives it to Cobb, who's going to start out the transition down low as Scooby Lewis finishes at home.
Yeah, they can't.
Yeah, if you're Oregon right now, during the break, you're like, hey, come out, put your foot on the gas. And that's what they've done. They're trying to make sure that they keep this game going and don't allow Ohio State back into it. Great start for Oregon.
Good finish on that play by Jacob Brewer from a pass. I forgot who the pass was from, but a nice finish there by Manny Brewer.
Still a great pass, though.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought mid-sentence, but it happens to the best. From Pine Saw.
Yes.
But Pine Saw throws that one to Singler.
Were you saying from the one of us? Happens to the one of us, Jeff?
The best of us.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure that's what you were gonna say. I completely agree. Okay.
So back to the game, we've had a couple turnovers in a row.
I don't know what Zach is doing right now, but Cobb over on the baseline dishes it to Grayson James. Kind of got a little bit of a mismatch going. He's got Sean Moore on him if he wants to try something fancy. Gives it to Scooby Lewis. Lewis back to James. James to Diego Santos, who's being guarded by Ruben on the play. Tight defense from Ruben, and Diego Santos hits that in his grill.
3-point.
That was disrespectful. He said, look, I don't care if you're in my face. I'm shooting it. Stop me. And that was a nice shot.
Yeah, Diego Santos, where he's been from last season to this season, he looks like a much improved player, and definitely somebody that we need to watch out for the Oregon Ducks. As Lewis in transition gets that one to fall.
Man, what can Scooby not do? Unbelievable.
Well, apparently he cannot miss, so that's something.
There we go.
Sean Moore, top of the key, going at Scooby Lewis. I don't know if you would want to do that right now. Over to Scott Pinesaw. Pinesaw, stop, pop, no good. Jacob Brewer up with the rebound, but he's stripped on the play by James as Singler up with the rebound. Corrals the basketball, gives it to Diego Santos. As Santos in transition, he is really light on his feet. Look at those moves that he's doing on Pinesaw. Gets it down low to Singler, who finishes it home over Chambers.
What a pass, dude.
What a pass. What a shot. I mean, just overall, that was a great possession for Oregon.
Now Pinesaw, but Chambers is going to be called for the offensive foul, the illegal screen, and the ball back to the Ducks.
Yeah, that one, sometimes on those screens you try to hide it at least. I don't think he tried to hide that one at all. That almost looked like a holding call.
Yeah, I agree. He did not try at all. He was moving, and I mean that was as easy as of a illegal screen as you could possibly get. Devin Davis down low, going at McAdoo, and he finishes.
I gotta say, Jeff, go ahead, David.
I'm about to say he swapped hands and just put that up with ease.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier, Jeff. I mean, good point there, David. But I gotta say, for Oregon, I think they look better than last season because they've got Devin Davis at the 5 now. He killed it at the 4 last year, and they're even this much better because they got Grayson James coming off the bench now.
Yeah, and what we're seeing from Singler in this game, he is looking really good for the Oregon Ducks. Is James up with the rebound, and he can't put it back over McDonald, and so up with the rebound and getting it back into transition for the Buckeyes. But McAdoo now backs it back out, gives it to Moore. Pinesaw wide open for 3, and that's good.
Need more of that.
Yeah, it might be a little bit too late for those, but hey, he needs to keep bringing them and get some momentum and get some confidence for this team after they've missed quite a few shots.
Yeah, get it going for next week as well as James backing his man down. The triple team. And a block by McDonald on the play. Gives it out to Pinesaw.
That was some great defense by Ohio State. You got to love the life that they're showing right now. and the and one right there.
McAdoo finishes it home, stuffs it over Devin Davis, and a little bit of a life here for the Buckeyes, though it's late and probably it's all but over as the fat lady was probably warming up back in the third. But you really got to love what you're seeing if you're the Buckeyes coaching staff because of just the fight that they've kept playing with and not really giving up in this game.
Yeah, and you got to love it as the game is winding down. You want to finish a game with some positives, and that's exactly what Ohio State is doing right now. Let's see if they can't make this a closer battle before it's all said and done, though.
Still a long season left to go. 71-50. Babbage over to Ward. Ward going to take a shot, but that one's no good as McDonald up with the rebound. Dishes it up to Thomas. Thomas at the top of the key now. Dishing it over to Kerr. Kerr being guarded by Babbage on the play. Going at his man. Step back. Still going up against Glisek now. Over to Thomas in the corner. McAdoo going in, and he finishes that home.
Nice. Great finish by McAdoo. And, if you're Oregon, you got to be really happy that you have found someone when Scooby Lewis is off the court who can score. Ward has done a great job filling in for scoring whenever Lewis is off the court.
Kerr will be called for his first foul, 71-52, so 19-point lead for the Ducks here. So it looks like, and it kind of feels like number 3 is going to survive this game for just another week.
Yeah, and I think, like you were mentioning, David said, Dan Gleason at the line, getting help from Babic, Cooksey. I mean, just a little bit of everything with Scooby here for Oregon.
Yeah, Babic has looked really good as well. Another, it seems like Oregon just grows these guards like it's no tomorrow. Then we've saw it with Diego Santos last season, and now what he looks like this season. What could Babic look like next season?
Yeah, Oregon is looking scary. They're building a team that's not just set to compete this year. They're going to be a team that's going to be competing for years to come.
Pinesaw now with 2:30 left to go has the basketball being guarded by Glisek and having to give it over to Sean Moore, who's being guarded by Scooby Lewis. Gets the pick and dishes it to McAdoo for 3. No good. Rebound to Scooby Lewis.
Yeah, Ward did a great job, swatted that ball right to Lewis. And I thought there for a second the way Ward broke to the lane like Lewis is fixing to throw him a nice alley hoop.
Babic on the top of the key. Looking down low to Lewis, and he finishes.
Great play by Oregon. Great play.
Stealing candy from a baby. That one was way too easy. McAdoo dishes it over to Thomas, who gives it back to Pinesaw. Got Ward on him. Looking for McAdoo to set the screen. He gets it. Now Pinesaw going at Glisek in, and that one's no good, but with his own board.
Wow.
And he's going to get called for the foul is Ward, and going to the free throw line is Pinesaw.
Good effort there. Not giving up on that. David and I talked about that a lot in the last game. Even if, like you guys have said, they're down, they're still fighting here.
Yeah, you got to love it. And that is Ward's third foul. I know we only got a minute 38 left in the game, but if Ohio State can get aggressive, it might be able to change the end of the game just a little bit here.
All right, so Oregon looking really good as the number 3 coming into this week. Do you think, based on this, that maybe they move up in the rankings?
Ooh.
Or do you think it's going to stay the same? Kansas, UConn, Oregon.
I don't think that it moves at all personally. When Kansas had a great win, UConn had a great win. Even though it's close, I don't see it moving. I mean, I think conference time will really dictate those final rankings.
Yeah, I agree. I think had one of them teams struggle this week, then you got to consider it. But they didn't play to a point where they need to lose their ranking, no matter how well Oregon's playing right now.
So now with a minute 15 left to go, Kerr with the basketball dishes it to Burton as the backups have started to come into this one. Gives it to Pine Saw with Lewis guarding him as Scooby Lewis still wanting to play in this game. But Pine Saw for 3. That one's good.
Good basket there.
Yeah, that's a good basket to try to just gain some confidence, getting ready for next week. Great heart by Ohio State, not laying down whatsoever.
Glisek to Scooby Lewis. No good. Up with the rebound. Starks dishes it to Kerr.
Yeah, I look for Pine Saw to get another shot here. I figure he's going to try to make a play and keep momentum going for Ohio State.
And again, just a reminder, coming up around 10 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to be Wisconsin taking on Villanova. Villanova staying home for 2 consecutive games as Wisconsin having to make the trek to Philadelphia.
That is going to be a good game. We have had a fun night of some ball games tonight. We've seen a couple teams really just force their will, and can't wait to see what Villanova and Wisconsin bring to the table tonight.
Yeah, that one's sure to be a good game for the CSBA to close out the Week 2 slate. But here, Oregon closes out their Week 2 game with really a stellar performance, start to finish, 75-57. The final score here. Final thoughts, guys, in this one.
Real quick, I think Oregon just played Oregon basketball. I don't think Ohio State's bad whatsoever. I just think Oregon's more battle tested in their conference, Jeff, and they showed it tonight.
Yeah, I agree. David?
Yeah, Ohio State just has to, figure out their identity. I think that's the biggest thing, as they struggled with who was going to take control. I think once they get that figured out, they've got the playmakers, they got the capability. It's just a matter of making those plays now.
All right, and so that's going to do it here from Value City Arena in Columbus, Ohio, as the Ducks survive and they take this one, and the number 3 team will probably stay number 3 next week. We'll have to see how the rankings come out, but here just quick little thoughts on what you guys are seeing for these team comparisons.
One thing that stuck out to me real quick, if you don't mind, David, points in the paint, 50 for Oregon. Literally, if they took away everything else, Oregon would only lose by 7 just based on that stat alone. That is really impressive.
Yeah, and you also got to look at the 18 fast break points. They controlled the tempo of the game all the way, pushing the ball. Ohio State was only able to get 5. Oregon did a great job on defense, keeping Ohio State in front of them.
So again, Oregon wins 75-57. We'll be back around 10 p.m. Eastern time for Wisconsin-Villanova. Until then, for David Ware and for Zach Davis, I'm Jeff Melnish, and have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
Have a good night.